Dong-chul and his friend Kyung are now working a fish delivery service. A few years ago, Dong used to be a gangster, but after meeting his wife, he left gangster work and has now become a simple man. Dong loves his wife very much and he wants to see her happy always, so he wants to do something big in life. Dong thinks of doing king crab business, because it is in high demand in the market. Just then Dong receives a phone call from a man, and they both rush to visit him. It turns out that Dong has come to visit a big seller of king crab. After checking samples, he hesitating for a while, but he decides to put down his money, which includes the 100 million won he borrowed from the bank. But his wife does not know about it. Next, we see Dong's wife Ji-soo, who works at 2 places. Now after finishing all the work, she meets Dong. On the way home, Dong asks Ji-soo about her opinion on investing in king crab, but she becomes enraged, because he always takes investments that turn out to be scams, causing them to go into debt. Next, we see a group of criminals led by a man named Ki-tae, trying to force their way into an apartment through a door. After opening the door, he confronts a debtor and brutally assaults him. However, just as he is about to murder her, the Loney's daughter arrives, and Ki-tae is captivated by her beauty. Then he and his henchmen kidnap the girl, to ransom the debt. On the way, Ki-tae's car collides with Dong's car by accident. Dong then gets out of his car, and inspects the damage. So he tries to persuade Ki-tae's driver, Do-sik, to come out and report the matter to the police. However, because they're holding a girl captive, Do-sik tries to move quickly, and offers Dong some money. When Ji-soo notices him throwing money at her husband, she arrives scolding him, and tells Dong to contact the cops. Ki-tae, captivated by Ji-soo's appearance, gets out of the car, and begins beating his driver, and apologizes to Dong. Seeing this, the couple gets freaked out, and immediately gets out of there. The next day, Dong goes to his boss Kang to collect his paycheck, but only receives a small amount. He tries to ask for more, but Kang ignores him, so he is forced to leave. He then proceeds to see Kyung, where they learn that the king crab ship is being docked in a Chinese port. They believe they have been deceived once again, and if Ji-soo finds out, they are worried about his reaction. That evening, Dong takes his wife out to dinner to celebrate her birthday. During their conversation, Ji-soo suggests they get a fake divorce, so they can keep their apartment. But Dong gets agitated, and refuses to do so. Then he tells Ji-soo about his king crab investment, and upon hearing the amount, she gets angry and yells at him. He then calms her down, and goes to get the birthday cake. But when he comes back, she is already gone. Meanwhile, Ji-soo goes home in a cab, but she feels very bad. So she messages Dong, assuring him that she trusts him with his decisions. Dong, who is still at the restaurant, is happy and goes home after receiving her message. Later, Dong's car had to stop in the middle of the road, because of a man named Lim, transferring some items to another car. However, Lim turns out to be Ki-tae's henchman, who is deliberately slowing down Dong's way to the house. Meanwhile, Ji-soo is kidnapped by one of Ki-tae's henchmen at home. Later, when Dong returned home, he could not find his wife, and their apartment was in ruins. He then starts to panic, and goes to the police station to report the situation. Then the police showed him the CCTV footage of the apartment building. However, before the abduction, someone had deliberately switched off the CCTV cameras of the area. Afterward, as soon as Dong left the police station, he received a phone call from Ki-tae, who tells her to listen to Ji-soo's pleading voice. Ki-tae then says she put a business card on the fridge, and invites Dong to meet her at a restaurant. When Dong arrives at the restaurant, Ki-tae calls him again, and requests that he in the bag in front of him. The bag turns out to be full of money, and Ki-tae tells them that it is Ji-soo's price, and that she will no longer return home. He was disappointed to see this. Dong presents the money to the police as evidence. After the police investigate, they conclude that what happened to Ji-soo is an example of human trafficking, and attempt to dismiss it. Dong understands that the police are not taking the kidnapping seriously. He then learns that many other women in the city have also been taken away like his wife, and no one else has been found alive. Seeing this, he decides to take matters into his own hands, and contacts his friend Kyung, to arrange a meeting with a private detective named Bear. Kyung informs him that Bear demands a significant sum of money, which they cannot afford, since they've also given Ki-tae money to the police. Dong goes to meet her boss Kang again, and demands his wages. However, as usual, Kang refuses to pay his entire amount, and scolds him. His men begin to chase Dong, but he fights each of them. Kang is terrified when he sees Dong's strength, and pays all his dues. After this, Dong and Kyung then go to meet Private Detective Bear, and ask him for help. He then hands over all his money to Bear, who he claims is insufficient. The next day, Bear finds the license plate number of the person who kept Dong's money bag. After reviewing the CCTV tape, they eventually found out who owned the car, and proceeded to meet him. After questioning the person concerned, it was revealed that he had sold his car license number to a bookie, as he was addicted to gambling in the bookie establishment. So the three went to a shady spot, where the man had sold his license plates. They are taken to an officer, who who asks if they need number plates for vehicles or drugs. When she learns that they want to check her client's information, she assumes they are the police, and orders her men to attack them. However, Dong defeats them one by one, forcing the woman to eventually give him the information he needs. In the evening, Dong goes to a nightclub, based on the business card provided by the bookie. However, the business card is out of date, and the owner of the nightclub has changed. While parking, he saw a van with a man and several women getting out. The man turned out to be Lim. Having delayed Dong back to his flat, Dong approaches Lim, when he returns to his car, and urges him to get out. However, Lim eventually manages to escape from the place. Later, Dong receives news that the police have found a body. Hearing this, he said, and immediately reached the police station to confirm the dead body. He is horrified, but fortunately, the dead woman is not Ji-soo. The next day, Bear investigates the dead woman, and discovers that she has been missing for 2 years. However, the strange thing is, she was in a comatose state before being kidnapped, and her husband once went to the police station to confess for some reason. In the next scene, the three proceed to meet the man, whose wife's body was found. The man reveals that his wife was in a coma 2 years ago, and he used to take care of her. He also appeared in a TV show to raise funds for the treatment. However, one day, Katai finds him and offers him a large sum of money in exchange for his wife, which according to them was already a living corpse. Eventually the husband accepted the money in exchange for his wife, and is now regretting his actions. Before Dong leaves, the man tells him some information about the people involved that he obtained. Later, as Dong and his friends get into the car, they hear a loud commotion, and discover that the man they just talked to has committed suicide by falling from the top of the building. Upon looking up the information given to him, Dong recognizes the familiar face and business card of a man named Do-sik, whose car had crashed a few days earlier. He is then visited by Do-sik, who does not recognize him at all. Dong then takes Do-sik from his office and brings him to Beer's office for questioning. There he is brutally tortured for hours, but he refuses to give any information. Soon after, Ki-tae video calls them and threatens to kill Ji-soo if Dong does not kill Do-sik. Torturing his wife, Dong strangled her 6 times by the neck until she fainted. Katai then informed him that if he wanted his wife back, he would have to pay the money. After the phone call ended, we realized that Dong was only acting, and had pinched 6 arteries, causing him to faint. Dong then slaps him hard and he wakes up immediately. After that, Do-sik revealed that they are loan sharks, who kidnap borrowers or their loved ones, when they are unable to repay their money. Sometimes they kidnap a woman, because of her appearance. The abducted women would be sold abroad for prostitution at a high price. Katai is a pervert who believes that money can buy anything, and it often does. But Dong is the first to refuse to accept defeat. However, Do-sik claims he does not know the particular location of the hostages' detention, but only the province. After gathering all of this information, Dong and his friends intend to reclaim the money from the police. When they arrive at the police station, Bear and Kyung disguise themselves as prosecutors. They claim to have arrived from the central office in Seoul, and wish to take the money bag for further examination. The officer agrees to lend the bag, but he insists on alerting the lead detective. Despite his protests, the constable calls the detective, who informs him that the matter has not been reported to the prosecution. Dong listens outside, and realizes that he has been exposed. He blew up the car of one of the police detectives to distract them. Finally, they manage to escape with the money. In the following scene, several abducted women are shown being held captive by Ki-tae and his crew. Katai is furious at Lim, and beats him with a bat for mistreating one of the women. Shortly after, he receives news from Dong, that they have successfully recovered the money, so he invites Dong to meet him at his hiding place for the exchange. After hanging up the phone, Katai orders his men to kill Dong after getting his money back. Later, Ji-soo notices something unusual about the window, and learns that it has been recently renovated. She and another woman tear off the cover, and try to force the door latch open. They are able to create a small opening, through which Ji-soo escapes. But just as the little girl is about to leave, a kidnapper stops her. Ji-soo continues to run, and Katai also sets out to find her. She runs towards the main road, and runs into a man, requesting that he take her to the nearest police station. After a while, the car gets stuck in traffic, in front of the police station. However, as Ji-soo gets out of the cab to continue running, she almost reaches the door, when Ki-tae's car stops in front of her, and he catches her. The next day, Dong and his friends finally reach the place, where the women are being detained. Dong runs into the building, and beats up everyone in his path to reach the top. Meanwhile, the other girls are being prepared by the kidnappers to be transferred elsewhere. Lim, who is in a room, hears a noise outside, and runs out to investigate, only to be beaten by Dong. Meanwhile, Bear and Kyung release the kidnapped women, and the police soon arrive and arrest the kidnappers. Dong searches for his wife, who he believes has escaped through the window. On the way, he collides with Katai's car, in which Ji-soo is riding. Seeing him, Ki-tae requests that the driver move faster. Dong follows the car in an attempt to stop it, until a collision occurs, causing Dong's car to slide down a hill. Katai then grabs the axe and goes to attack Dong. He breaks the windshield, but Dong is nowhere to be found. Moments later, Dong pulls her down, and begins punching her. After a while, Dong-chul kicks him out, and Katai pretends to apologize, and also threatens to commit suicide. However, Dong restrained him and continued to beat him. Once Katai passed out, Dong runs to his wife and wakes her up. As soon as the police reached the spot, both of them hugged each other in happiness. After this incident, Katai and his entire gang are arrested, while Dong's story gets headline news, as he is hailed as a hero. Meanwhile, the shipment of king crab finally reaches Korea. Luckily, it turns out to be an extremely profitable investment for Dong, and he ends up becoming rich. At last, Ji-soo and Dong celebrating his birthday by eating king crab together at his new restaurant. And the movie ends here.